I always believed my life would remain ordinary. Not exciting. Not legendary.
Just ordinary.
My name is Daniel Reyes, and for most of my life I worked as a maintenance engineer on orbital station Helios 9. If you've never heard of it, that's not surprising. Helios 9 was one of those quiet stations floating between Mars and Jupiter, far from Earth's attention and even farther from anything interesting. Our job was simple: keep the station running, maintain the life support systems, repair malfunctioning drones, and occasionally fix a faulty airlock before someone got sucked into space. Nothing glamorous. No heroic missions. No alien encounters. Just machines, wires, and the endless hum of engines. Honestly, I liked it that way. Most days began the same. I'd wake up at 0600 station time, drink a terrible cup of synthetic coffee, then head down to Engineering Deck B, where the real heart of Helios 9 lived. Pipes carrying coolant, rows of power converters, fusion core regulators, thousands of blinking lights. It was beautiful to me. Machines always made sense. They had rules, systems, logic. Humans, on the other hand, were unpredictable, which is why I preferred working with engines instead of people. For 5 years, that routine never changed, until the day the ship arrived. It appeared without warning. At 14:22 station time, the radar alarms started screaming. I was elbow-deep inside a cooling manifold when the station AI spoke through the speakers. Unknown vessel approaching Helios 9. Everyone froze. Unknown vessels didn't just appear out here, especially not this far from official trade routes. Commander Alvarez rushed into engineering minutes later. Reyes. Status on external scanners. I wiped grease off my hands and pulled up the display. The object slowly rotated on the screen. At first, I thought the sensors were glitching, because the ship didn't look human. No thrusters. No antenna arrays. No visible weapons. Just a smooth, curved structure that looked more grown than built. "Is that biological?" someone whispered. "No idea," I muttered. The commander folded her arms. "Can we communicate with it?" I tried every standard frequency. Nothing. No signals. No language. No response. But the ship kept drifting closer, like it knew exactly where we were. 30 minutes later, it docked. Not with our main port. Not with any docking port at all. The ship simply touched the station hull and connected, as if the metal had melted together. That was the moment we realized something was very wrong. "Engineering," Commander Alvarez said sharply. "I need a team ready. If that thing breaches the station, we seal every corridor." I swallowed, because somehow that responsibility landed on me. "Reyes," she said, "you're coming with me." Of course I was. Engineers always get stuck with the weird problems. The corridor outside docking sector C felt colder than usual. Emergency lights flickered. Security officers stood ready with plasma rifles. But none of them looked confident. The hull scanner showed something inside the airlock chamber. Something moving. The commander signaled the door open. The metal hatch slowly slid aside. And that's when I saw her. She didn't look like a monster. She didn't look terrifying. She looked beautiful,
Tall.
graceful. Her skin shimmered faintly, like moonlight on water. Her hair, if it was hair, flowed like strands of glowing silver. And her eyes, they were deep violet, watching us calmly,
Curiously.
almost kindly. The security team raised their rifles immediately, but she didn't react. She simply stood there, observing us, like we were the strange ones. "Identify yourself," Commander Alvarez demanded. Of course, the alien didn't respond. She tilted her head slightly, then looked directly at me. Not the commander, not the soldiers.
Me.
the grease-covered engineer holding a diagnostic tablet. Then she spoke. Her voice echoed inside my head, not through speakers, not through translators, directly inside my mind. Are you the one who repairs the heart of this structure? My heart skipped. I looked around. Did anyone hear that? Everyone stared at me. No, the commander said, which meant only one thing. She was speaking to me alone. I asked. The voice continued gently, "Are you the one who maintains the life systems of this station?" I swallowed hard. Yes. The alien woman stepped closer. Security tightened their aim, but she ignored them. Her eyes stayed locked on mine. Then she asked the question that changed everything. Why do you repair machines that imprison your own species? The corridor fell silent. I blinked. What? She gestured around the station walls. This structure. Your species built it to survive the emptiness of space. Yet your people remain trapped inside fragile systems. I frowned. That's kind of the point. Space kills us. Her expression softened. But what if it didn't have to? I had no idea how to answer that. Because the way she said it, it sounded like a genuine question. Not a threat. Not an accusation. Just curiosity. What are you? I asked slowly.
She paused.
Then replied, My name cannot be pronounced in your language, but your mind may call me Lyra. Okay, Lyra, I said carefully. Why are you here? Her answer chilled me. I came searching for the one who understands machines. She looked around the engineering station walls, then back at me. I did not expect that person to be human. Commander Alvarez stepped forward. What is it saying, Reyes? I hesitated. She's looking for someone who understands machines. The commander sighed. Of course she is.
Then she pointed at me.
Well, congratulations. You're officially the galaxy's customer support.
Great. Just great.
Over the next few hours, I became the translator between humanity and an alien species. Except the strange part was this. Lyra didn't care about our leaders, or our weapons, or our politics. She only cared about engineering. She followed me around the station like an extremely curious scientist. How does this engine produce energy? Why are your materials so rigid? Why do you separate biological systems from mechanical systems? The questions never stopped. And honestly, I started enjoying answering them. Because she wasn't mocking us. She was fascinated, like humanity had built something strange and wonderful. Eventually we returned to Engineering Deck B. Lyra stared at the fusion core like it was an ancient relic. You generate power by forcing unstable matter to collapse, she said. Yeah, I shrugged. Works pretty well. She touched the reactor housing gently. Her glowing fingers left faint patterns on the metal. Then she looked at me again. Your species builds machines the way children build shelters. I raised an eyebrow. Is that an insult? No, she said softly. It is admiration. But then she asked another question, one that made my stomach tighten. If you could change the way your species survives in space, would you? I laughed nervously. I'm just an engineer. That's way above my pay grade. She tilted her head again. That answer is incorrect. What do you mean? She stepped closer. Very close. Close enough that the glow of her skin reflected in my eyes. Then she said something that changed my life forever. Your mind understands systems better than most of your species. My throat felt dry. Thanks, I guess. But you do not yet realize, she continued quietly, that your knowledge could free humanity from machines entirely. The room felt suddenly very quiet. Free us how? Lyra smiled, and that smile held something ancient, something powerful. My people no longer build machines, she said. We become them. I stared at her. That doesn't make sense. She extended her hand. Come with me, Daniel Reyes. I hesitated. Where? To my ship. And do what? Her violet eyes glowed brighter. Help me answer a question that has puzzled my species for centuries. My chest tightened. What question? She looked directly into my soul and asked softly, why do humans build machines instead of becoming something greater? The station commander would later say I should have refused, that I should have stayed, that it wasn't my responsibility. But standing there in that moment, I realized something. For 5 years, I had repaired machines, maintained systems, followed procedures, but I had never truly asked why humanity built things the way it did. And now, an alien civilization wanted to know the answer. So I did the craziest thing an engineer could do.
I said yes.
Lyra's ship wasn't mechanical. It was alive. The walls pulsed faintly. The corridors reshaped themselves as we walked. It felt less like entering a spacecraft and more like stepping inside a living organism. You see, she said, no wires, no engines, no machines. I ran my hands along the organic surface, but something is powering all of this. She smiled. Yes. Then she placed a glowing hand against the wall. The ship responded instantly. Lights brightened. Structures shifted. Systems awakened. Our bodies evolved to interact with living technology, she explained. We became the interface. I stared in amazement. You merged biology and engineering. Exactly. Then she looked at me again. Now imagine what your species could become. For weeks, we worked together. I studied her ship. She studied human engineering. And slowly, we began to understand something incredible. Human machines were crude, but our creativity, our adaptability, our problem-solving, it was unlike anything her species had seen. You build imperfect systems, Lyra said one night, but you improve them constantly. That's engineering, I said. No, she replied softly. That is evolution. And that's when I realized something. The question she asked me at the station, it wasn't about machines. It was about human potential. And maybe, just maybe, an ordinary engineer could help answer it. Ending. 3 months later, I returned to Helios 9. But I wasn't the same person who had left. I carried new knowledge, new ideas, new possibilities for humanity's future. Lyra stood beside me in the docking bay. You could come with us permanently, she said. I smiled. Maybe someday. Why not now? I looked back at the station, at the engineers fixing pipes, the technicians repairing drones, the humans doing their best with the tools they had. Then I said quietly, because humanity isn't ready yet. Lyra studied my expression. And you will help them become ready? I nodded.
Yeah.
She smiled warmly. Then my question has its answer. I raised an eyebrow. It does? Yes. She stepped closer and whispered. Humans build machines because they are still building themselves. Her ship detached from the station soon after, vanishing into deep space. But the knowledge she left behind would change everything. And me? I went back to work in engineering Deck B. Still fixing pipes. Still repairing reactors. Still just an engineer. But now, whenever someone asks what I do for a living, I smile. Because I know the truth. I thought I was just an engineer. Until an alien woman asked the right question. And changed the future of humanity forever.